Hello from Quebec in 2024. A new day, a new fucking era. A new of everything. A new paradigm shift. I have a little message from myself to Quebec. Generally, this could apply to most people, but I'm specifically targeting Quebecers that are done with the old ways and want to move on to bigger and better adventures for themselves and the people who want that as well too. I hope 2023 has opened your minds to not only interesting absurdities, paradoxes, but uplifting a veil that I'm pretty sure subconsciously you were feeling. And despite all the tyranny, despite the number of heads on the Hydra that Quebecers have been feeding and destroying, there's some silver lining and a lesson that has been learned in the last several years. Now, I'm going to get to the individual in a sec, but I want to just talk on in a societal way. When it comes to the old ways of doing things out here in Quebec, that's done. That has to be over. We are in a new time now where the old ways are not serving you, and it has been exposed. And it's thanks to that exposure, thanks to some individuals out in society, that I have seen your shadows, that I have seen your true form, and also that of these politicians. What do I mean by that? What I mean to say is Quebec's exposure, and also Canada too, has been very fucking entertaining for me. It's been fun. It still is fun. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the vindication every single fucking time has been fun for yours truly. And I'm here to enjoy all of it. The destruction, the negative, the positive, everything. Everything. That's what I mean by chaos. Chaos to me is that realm of potentiality. That is the realm of untouched, unfertilized natural grounds where possibilities and impossibilities could occur. And that also means in the subconscious of the individual and the collective unconscious. But the thing with Quebec is it's made itself be a social justice warrior prior to anyone calling them a social justice warrior. Just like Canada, it likes to meme its own existence. And you're starting to see that in comment sections where a major situation is going on out here in Quebec that is affecting all of us. And then you're going to insert some French joke here. Or about the protection of the French. It's becoming a meme at this point. This forever thing is a meme now. It's a meme. Because what people don't realize is this whole fucking thing that you guys thought that you were saving the French culture by voting in another guy, the alternative, turned out to be a hoax, turned out to be false, and I was at least 4 years ahead of the curve. You guys, it took you 2 weeks to figure it out, and then you're still possibly wondering, how did everything go to hell? Because one does not just simply leave the realm of not being a peakist, who is also simply just a fucking boomer with these glorious ideas and surrounding himself with other questionable boomers with questionable ties to anything beyond just being a fucking politician, my friends. They have sold you out time and time again. You can sit there all you want and say. I mean, look, we can all agree that this guy is illegitimate and delegitimate across the fucking board. And you guys voting in the PQ is not going to solve your fucking problems. It won't. Because why would you give them the benefit of the doubt? What makes you think that these guys are a viable option? Why? Because we love to talk about sovereignty, but then they sell you out to globalism? How do you know that's not going to fucking happen? It's already happening under Lego, and it happened prior to him. So you guys have been stupefied and duped more than once. I like how you think that all of your options are just, like, viable to some degree. Again, you're not that much different than fucking Canadians. We don't like Cuban Fabio, but we don't like his face. We're just gonna vote him out because we are fed up with him, not considering who we're voting in. So let's vote for Polyev. Let's vote for the cartoon con. That's not that much different, my friends. It really isn't. So now you're starting to see when shit hits the fucking fan out here in Quebec with your healthcare, or as I like to say it, hellcare, your education system is really not helping a lot of people out for the sake of saving the French. And here's the fucking secret that no one's gonna tell you, but I will, okay? The Anglophones are not 100% the problem. But here's the other thing that I have to mention before I get to the secret. A lot of yous don't want to be saved. A lot of yous don't want freedom. A lot of yous don't want liberty. I'm not here to save your fucking ass. I'm gonna let the compassionate thing to do is to let the situation bitch slap you in the face until you folks fucking realize the importance of why private property rights are quintessential to your existence. It doesn't make sense at this point, even for myself, to be on survival mode. Yeah, I just want to survive, but being on survival mode, that's not sustainable. The way that Quebec has been operating itself as of now, and then having a paradigm shift with strings attached that you guys most probably didn't vote for, let alone or unaware of, slowly chipping away at your rights. That's not a good thing. That's not good. And why is it taking a bilingual Anglophone to tell you this? Because we're heretics. We don't belong. We're not welcomed in a society where we say we just want to be left alone, hi bonjour, and go fuck yourself and they call this. There are some people that are like that. But a lot of yous don't want liberty, and I'm not going to save you. I'm not going to bother with you. But here's the secret, the not so secretive secret that I'm going to give you. What Lego and company are doing, and also beyond closed doors, is they're trying to strengthen their weakness and trying to make themselves look bigger and badder by looking more intimidating than what they already are. Well, how's that possible? Let me put it to you this way on philosophical grounds. You can't have liberty and security. Or at least, you could have liberty, but you try to mitigate to improve on your security. You can't have both simultaneously. At the very least, you can't just strictly have security over liberty. We need to protect the French culture. The French language is in threat. Well, you're trying to secure the French. So what are you doing? You're flexing aspects of the province to limit English by boasting French. That's not very attractive now. That's not whether you want to call it fascistic or not, I mean, it's really irrelevant, but it's still authoritarian. Whether you want to call it socialist, or when you want to call them communist, whether you want to call them center-right or far-right. I mean, name me a far-right political party here on the provincial level, let alone in Canada. These guys are sinos, for fuck's sakes, okay? Our far-right are actually center-left. The most extreme is NDP. I'm talking on a federal level now. Now, in terms of Quebec, I haven't thought about it in that way, but they're not viable options for me, that's for sure. So that's the secret. That's the not so secret of secret. They are trying to look intimidating because they know, or whether they do or they don't, here's the thing. They need the English. That's the Satanists. Those are the bad guys that they fucking need. Because it's great to be an isolationist for a period of time. The problem is when you're too isolationist, there's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of innovation. Now, you could make the argument that, yeah, okay, we want to just do business dealing strictly with countries that are French. Okay, well, Haiti has some French, but do they carry the same values as you? Is it the Haitians' fault that their country is in disarray? We can thank the Clinton Foundation for a lot of that bullshit. A lot of exploitive shit has been going on, and it's not just them. It's across the fucking board, okay? But again, you know, there's a nuance that is lost here. There's a nuance that's lost. They're weak. Lego and Company and beyond are weak. They cannot handle the basics of a society. Well, who's going to pave the roads then if it's just privatized? I mean, if that's going to be the case, if it's privatized, I mean, can you get that efficiency? Well, even publicly, it's not going well now, is it? You guys, even the fucking city, Montreal had to cut funding for the New Year's Eve fireworks the other day. Because there's just too many fucking issues going on. Well, I mean, if that's the fucking word, that's not... I'll pick that over being told to stay at home to reduce the spread of the invisible enemy. At least a day before New Year's Eve. That did fucking happen, folks. That did happen. I remember that. And I remember people were blasting the fireworks when the clock struck 12. So fuck your laws. Fuck your creeds. Fuck all that bullshit. Just fuck it all. And fuck Lego and Company. Because in order for you to go forward in life, you gotta break a few rules. You gotta challenge that. And how does that happen? By having that curiosity for something anew, for something novel. This isn't really, for some people this might be a novel idea, like the Lego and Company are weak. Take away the French. What else do you got? What is the reason left for their existence then? That's why you need the Anglophones. You need them. Because without us, who are you going to fight with? Who are you going to fight with without seemingly more racist than what people have already claimed them to be? That's really going to piss people off. That's why they're treading water. That's why we are the scapegoats. You need us. We don't need you. Mind you, I think it's best to learn both languages because you're not boxed in. That's the thing. Even they themselves had to loosen the screws a little bit for some international corporations to do investment here. Whatever the case was, they had to loosen that a little bit. But it's bilingualism for me and not for thee. notice the odd practicality of how a lot of your prime ministers came from Quebec. The place that was so close to separating from the very place that they still want to get currency from. The same fucking place that they didn't sign the Constitution, but yet using a part of it to override Canadian jurisdiction. That's very odd to me. You guys are a country in a symbolic sense, but technically, so is Ontario. So is Alberta. So is every state in the United States. It's called the United States, but there is some form of decentralization. Checks and balances. Those things exist for a fucking reason. That's not Canada. That's not Quebec. So, before I go off on the rails a little bit further, Anglophones are not the enemy. We're not the problem. I'm not going to excuse some people out in the community for being a bunch of twats and pussies and succumbing to the threats of the French, the language Nazis, because they're not helping you out. They're not. So that's the not-so-secretive secret. They're weak. It's obvious that they're weak. If they're confident in their power, why the fuck do they gotta force this language law onto other people? Doesn't make sense, dude bros. Now let me get to the individual. As I was stating before, if you guys are fed up and you want something new, now is the year, now is the time to embrace sovereignty. A person who realizes, who is an autonomous, sovereign, self-liberator, self-actualized, an individual will want to do things their way. That's the other not-so-secretive secret. They want to keep you in the matrix, and as soon as you unplug, it's a whole new different fucking world out there. But we do exist. Some of us heretics do exist out in society. This is a message to those who want to be self-liberated, or just liberated in general, who want to be illuminated, who don't want to be under the guises and the thumbs of these fucking losers. Because let's be honest, language Nazis are losers. You guys get to conduct your business as you please. You guys get to spend your money how you please. You get to learn as many languages as you fucking please. And then if you want to talk about taxes and all that shit, that's another thing that we gotta also discuss, because even that's not going very well. Why should us individuals keep funding a fucking place where we're not welcomed and we have all this shit and we're funding a bunch of losers? I'm not interested in that. See, that's the other thing. Let 2024 be the year of the individual. Because the way that Quebec has been going cannot sustain itself anymore. And that I'm not just talking, abolishing the fuck out of the old QLF. I mean, also realizing that voting is a fucking scam. If you realize the merits and the scam of voting, then you're at least, I would say, ahead of the fucking curve. But that's the thing. You could do whatever you want. You have choices. Why limit yourself to only one way of living? 8 million Quebecers plus live here. And we weren't the only people that did live here. People have come before, during, and after us. We're here. What are you going to do? We're here. Anglophones existed prior to me. They will exist even after me. Unless they do some hardcore cleaning, then that's when you guys could say there's a purge in our midst. But some people have this doomsday rhetoric that I see. I mean, look, to be honest, you gotta start off somewhere, but it's best that they just start limiting rather than doing the killing. Because that's when, you got problems. But at the same time, you guys ain't going after Lego for killing the old folks in the nurseries. But I'm pretty sure that there are some lawsuits, and I haven't kept myself updated with that. But let's not forget, if you want me to believe that we live in an individualistic society, and here's another thing, just to go off on a tangent, I don't believe that a whole 100%, because if we were, you guys wouldn't be all pussified and being all bitchy that some of us didn't get vaccinated or refused to mask up. When we said, nah, that's not my gig, I'm not going to do it, no thank you, and we wouldn't have been persecuted for it. Okay? You guys would have left us alone. You guys would have also been a bunch of fucking pussified losers for some of us wanting to own firearms. And no, we don't need licenses or permits or even fucking registries. Same thing with the car. Get over yourself. Get the fuck over it. So this whole French thing, keep it moving. Keep it fucking moving. If you guys are pissed off, be angry. But use that anger to your advantage and channel it to something better for that your will, your true will, capital W, that will make you, that will align you with. Do what you gotta do. But this French thing, it's gotta be done. Enough is enough now. It's not sustainable. And I like to think we're in a paradigm shift, but I'm only gonna see it when I see some fucking action. And I think most people are fed up, because the truth is, folks, Anglophones are not the enemy. The authoritarians are. Your French is last on the list. Not inflation. Not a recession. Not globalism. Those actually do fucking matter. It affects your way of life, your quality of life, and your private property. Notice how all these things are interconnected. I'm going to stop rambling now, and hopefully 2024 will be much more interesting, more weird, more brutal, more of a fucking laugh, and chaotic than it was last year. And welcome to the new era. Peace out.